Yeah. Okay, welcome to Faith and Health Team Zoom. I'm going to start with some quick announcements first, and then we will have the lovely Allie speak her wisdom into us. So, February 26th at 2 p.m., we're going to have an opportunity meeting at the West Chiropractic office in Wilsonville. I'll make the graphic for that later. Thank you, Leah, for allowing your chiropractor to have this opportunity meeting there. We'll have an ambassador training and a team dinner afterwards. Don't forget that you still have time to win the Garmin. I'm still going for it as well. 3 ambassadors, 3 preferred. Convention at the end of May. Make every effort to be there. I understand it's not easy. My son is turning 2. I'm leaving him home. So I'm making sacrifices to also be there. I get that it's a big deal and it can be a lot of money, but make every effort. I think it's Roadmap to Success. I always get the names mixed up. Sorry, y'all. It's in the back office now. Make sure you go check it out. It's on my to-do list as well. All right, little tidbit from me that I've had on my heart lately. This was at a women's conference that I was at yesterday, and the word that just kept coming up to me over and over and over again was be brave, be brave, be brave. And I felt that, as soon as the new year started. My word for the year is sold out. And kind of what goes along with that is, in order to be sold out to what I'm doing, I have to be brave. I have to get outside of my comfort zone. So to be able to get outside of my comfort zone, what are some things that I have to do? What are some things that I need to do in order to be brave? Talking to people when you're in public. Not kidding you, this still makes me want to wet my pants, but I do it anyways. It's that little nudge that you feel, like the lady I saw at Costco, and it was like super awkward before, and I just like stood outside the store and was like, how do I talk to her? But you go do it anyways, okay? That's being brave. That's contacting your chicken listers and your dream list people. Y'all, I have this gal, and I talked to her a year ago, and she told me no, but I still talk to her because she is on my dream team list. She's so influential. I know she would be amazing. And as soon as she tells me never, I won't talk to her again. I won't mention Plexus again. But until that time, I'm going to be brave and I'm going to keep messaging her because I know she'd be phenomenal. Asking your follow-ups what might be holding them back. It's the awkward question you have to ask, but when you have that stall in the conversation, you got to be bold and you got to ask them, where are you at? I know you're almost there and you want to join me and you're just like want to put that toe in, but you're not ready to put both feet in. What is stopping you? I have this one a lot, and I know you guys too, and I'm sitting on it right now. When someone hasn't ordered and they said they're going to, ask them, have you changed your mind? Has something changed? I think it was some team Zoom this week. Something I heard this week when one of the diamonds, that's what she asks. Have you changed your mind? Have you decided that you don't want to do this anymore? I think it's okay to be upfront because people appreciate it. People appreciate when you're bold. And maybe they did change their mind, and maybe now is not a good time. So by asking that question, it's also preventing you from wasting your time. Maybe you say, okay, great, I'm going to follow up with you in a couple months then. So then you're able to move on. And lastly, being vulnerable with your team. So a lot of you that are on this call, you have a few people under you. You might have a team page. You might have a team chat group going on. I think it is so important to be vulnerable and to let them know like what you're learning and what you're struggling with, but what you're learning from it more importantly. Through those struggles and through those trials that you're going through, what are you learning? Because your team is going to learn that as well. I try to be as transparent as I can be with you. Y'all know I am an open book and I talk too much. So I'm going to tell you everything that's going on. And I'm not saying that you have to be as transparent, but don't be afraid to be vulnerable because that is showing bravery. Your team is going to admire that and they're going to see you grow and it's going to make them want to grow. So that's my little tidbit, my little piece of knowledge for the day. I'm going to introduce to you the amazing Allie Kintz. She is my direct sponsor. I love her to pieces. She is amazing. I have learned so much from her,
Yeah.
especially on like being direct and
Oh,
being bold.
likewise.
I love that. So you're just tell us about a little bit about you and your Plexus life.
Yeah. So, okay. I joined in October of, it says my connection is unstable. Is that okay? Am I okay?
I see you.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. It just all of a sudden said unstable, so I don't know why. Um, anyway, so I joined in October of 2015. And I joined under Cassie Rainey, and she was a friend of mine because she was actually the photographer for the birth of my son. So we just knew each other through that, which is kind of an interesting relationship anyway. But so I saw her posting some stuff about, as a mom, she's, getting her energy back and she's there for her kids. And I was like a victim of an extreme sweet tooth, like nobody's business. I wanted chocolate chip cookies all day long. And I was working so hard to lose my baby weight. I gained 35 pounds with my son. And I got rid of like 30 of them before I went on a trip to Europe with my family. It was a 3-week long trip and my son was 8 months old. And I was like working so hard, right? I'm like, I almost got rid of everything. But there was like those 5 pounds that just make you uncomfortable, like make your clothes not fit well. Like I was just like, oh, like when we're going on this trip, there's tons of pictures and I was exhausted. I wore an 8-month-old in my Ergo front pack for 3 weeks straight, walking around Europe, feeling uncomfortable, wanting to eat everything in sight, just so exhausted. Got home, was so jet lagged and was like, something has got to give because I feel terrible about myself. And I came home, and after that initial kind of like time change, you'd think you'd get back in the swing of like sleeping, and I never did. I was like up all night, really not sleeping well, felt terrible all day long, low energy. And so finally I saw Cassie and I was like, girl, get me in on your next 7-day trial. And she had one coming up and I said, let me try that, and she gave it to me. And I kid you not, 3 days in, I was like sold, totally sold. I had zero sweet tooth. My mother-in-law baked my husband and I a whole batch of chocolate chip cookies. They sat on our counter and got moldy because we did not eat them. That is a true story. I didn't even want them, which is crazy. Like they smelled up my kitchen and everything. I was like, I don't even want these, which is odd for me. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And then I could see visually like my bloat was diminishing. I had so much energy. And that third night, I slept all the way through the night for the first time since probably I was pregnant. It was awesome. And I was like, this stuff is no joke. And then I remember being at a birthday party on the 4th day, feeding my son. And I was like, holy mackerel. All of a sudden I have all this milk to feed him again. Like what in the world? Like, which I'm sure a lot of you have been. It's whoa. Like you notice the difference, and so I told Cassie, you know what, sign me up, like, because this stuff is magic. And so I signed up and, joined, and Cassie was, I don't even think she's old yet, or maybe she just went gold in October or something, the month I joined. But so I kind of watched her like create her team page and like start that whole process of just creating a team culture and motivating people and forming a larger team and training and all of that. We kind of were learning together, which was really great. And that kind of goes to show she's almost like a running partner for me because she joined in August and I joined in October. So we were only a few months apart. So it was nice to have somebody who was new also going through it with me. And she was working the business at that point because she had realized like, wow, this could be really lucrative and financially successful for my family. And she said, have you thought about that? And I was like, not really. But I told my mom I told her about it, told some of my husband's family, who has blood sugar issues. I told them about it because I just got old awesome as the ones we have now. I got, the old success kit and brought it to like Thanksgiving a month later. I was like, look at all this stuff, guys. Like, I don't know anything incredible. And, I didn't know anything about anything. And I just started telling people that I knew had that Plexus was supposed to help. And I believed that it would help them because it helped me, even if it wasn't their same issue. I'm like, well, it's doing what it's supposed to be. So I don't know why it wouldn't help you with this. That's what it's meant for. So I told everybody. And I remember at the end of December, or by Christmas, I think I had like 16 or 17 ambassadors. And I always kick myself because Cassie and I had no idea what Fast Start Gold was. We had no idea. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I would have like known, I would have totally gone after Fast Start Gold. I would have been, like I was like mid-December, I'd been like 6 weeks into my journey and I was like, what? Like I'm almost gold. And so I remember at the end of December, I was like 2 people away from being gold or something. And so I got another few people in January and I ended up getting the points, to go gold with surplus in February. So I had kind of a interesting, like by chance sort of random initiation into the business. I knew nothing about anything. I did not have any of the big time issues that a lot of the Plexus products help with. That was not me. It was a lot of the people that I reached out to though, and it ended up helping them a lot. And so, and Jessica, you reached out to me because I posted about, I think, breast milk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and so that was one of the things, and all my new mom friends were like, hey, what's this? And a few of them are still on my team and are even close to gold themselves. So it was kind of like, I just naturally was like, guys, like, I don't know what this is, but it's awesome and you need to try it. And that kind of just belief in something that could be so awesome, I think was really contagious. And I was really optimistic and energetic about it. And when I told my family about it, I was so excited because it was doing great things for me. And I really, really believed it could do great things for them because I took the time to really look up testimonials for people when I didn't know if it was going to help them. I was like, let's see. Do other people have your same story? What do you know? The people had the exact same stories of my family and friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, like try it. So that's kind of how I started with the products and then how I got started with the business. And it's been a pretty incredible ride ever since, but it was pretty accidental for me, but I caught on fast, caught the vision pretty soon. So it's been fun.
And it was contagious, obviously, because I was like, I'm going with you. I'm going.
Like, Jessica.
Oh, I totally remember.
Really
it was just so awesome seeing you, and you're like, this is doable. And I was like, well, yes, it is. I don't think I'd ever like truly believed in something. So I was like, all right, I'll start telling people.
It totally like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that you attract like-minded people and people who are similar to yourself. You'll hear that a lot. I'll probably end up mentioning this later too, but your energy and your optimism and your hope and your willingness to achieve is really, really contagious, and it gets people really motivated. And when you can even just offer the smallest glimmer of hope, like I was offering these people who had no idea if these products would even help them. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, that these do what they say they do, because I am not diabetic. I don't have all this stuff wrong with me, and it worked, it worked. And they love, I'm like, it helped me with my breast milk. So like, I know it'll help you, And so I was like, yes, it worked. It worked. And so it's like every little win like that fools your belief. It makes your energy so contagious. And so just like never letting go of that, I think is really important. But I was like so excited when you joined and you wanted to like do this with me, because I'm like, person.
But so you're a stay-at-home mom, so your schedule's not going to necessarily look the same for everybody, but what does your daily schedule look like your DMO, your IPA, your personal development, for those that's daily method of operation and income producing activity?
Yeah, so before Plexus, I was blessed to have a work from home job, which was wonderful. I was I'm a marketing director for some restaurants, and it's been great that I can do a lot of it remotely. It's very deadline based. And so I had that job. I still have that job for years. And but when I had a baby, I had to work that in between naps. And so I got really used to compartmentalizing my time. because I had to do that already. And so that was something that I think was fortunate in my life that set me up for a little bit of success in Plexus. But having the discipline that Plexus really calls from you is really important. That was something I had to develop. But so my day, so I wake up anywhere between 6:30 and 7, and my son, I don't get him out of bed until 7:30. So I will get up, let myself just like wake up for a second, and then I'll see if anything is pressing for like that half hour, like that buffer half hour. If there's anything I really need to respond to, or just clear my notifications. Like, sometimes you wake up and you're like, why do I have like 42 notifications? Like sometimes it's just stuff that's silly, and it just like bugs me to see that number. And so I'm like, okay, clear this stuff out. And if there's a message from like a potential or something, like I might try to respond to it then if I can, first thing to start their day and my day. So I do some initial message checking. I don't do any of that, Facebook scrolling and all that. I don't do that business in the morning. I don't check my emails. Just initial pressing items. If I see anything that calls my attention, I will respond to it. If not, I go get my son up. And in the morning, do, breakfast and some kind of like quiet playtime while I'm, after cleaning up breakfast, I'll clean up the kitchen and stuff. And sometimes he'll go play by himself, and I'll usually make like a morning post around 8 a.m. ish, 8:30, something like that. A Plexus post, by the way. Morning Plexus post will be in the morning when I'm kind of finishing up after I've gotten him up and, loved on him a little bit, given him breakfast. I'm like, okay, go play something by yourself for a little bit. And that only takes like, 10 minutes, right? You're cleaning dishes and you make a post. And then that next set of time is completely devoted to my son, 100%, from about 8:30 in the morning until about noon, lunchtime. I'm with him. We're doing activities. We're going to the park. We're playing. We're learning. That's my really big time to be with him, only him. Something that has changed my life, and hopefully all of you win the Garmin, is I recently got an Apple Watch. I kid you not. It makes you not a slave to your cell phone, because I found myself in that cycle. I would watch it, and what is this notification? Oh, it's buzzing again. Oh, what is this? I'm like, was totally engrossed in what was happening on my phone, and I didn't want to be that way. So, especially with my son, I hated him playing, and I'm sitting there watching my phone. Like that's terrible. So I now have this that it'll buzz, and I'll kind of glance and be like, oh, it's somebody liking a post. Like I do not need to go find my phone and look at a screen to know that. So it's kind of kept that screen off my face and still given me that sense of I have a pulse on my business without feeling like I need to go open up an application and read something and be, taking attention away from my son. And especially we can get caught up in a lot of group chats and stuff where it's like ding, 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 like all these messages are going, right? And you're like, is somebody asking me a question? Like what's going on? That's something that has really been a life changer for me, is saying I don't need to respond to that stuff right now. But for my own like type A, like need to be involved in everything all the time personality, I was like, well, at least I can like see it. Like, I can see it and know that it's not something that's important. So that's been a big game changer for me, having that, day. Like here's my family time, because the whole point of doing Plexus is so that you have the time freedom to be with your family. And if you find yourself working while you're trying to be with them, it really negates what you're doing here. So I've done that. And then at lunchtime around noon to 1, we're making lunch, we're eating lunch, and I kind of run it like I would my breakfast time with my son. We'll make lunch, we'll eat it together. And then, we have that together time all morning, and he'll go play by himself for a little bit. He knows I'm going to clean the kitchen and stuff. What do? Sometimes I'll do a personal post from what we did in the morning. So I'll do a personal post, maybe like right before we make lunch, saying, hey, we had gymnastics today, like whatever. And then like maybe give it a half hour. While I'm cleaning up, I'll do another Plexus post. So that's how I'll do that. And then my little guy naps for a few hours in the afternoon. So between like 2 and 4, 4:30, that is my power time. So once I put him down, I go into my office. And I will actually probably repost this on my team page, but Jessica and I were in the Gold Senior Goal Convention this last year. They talked about prioritization and time management. It's a matrix it's like a little, there's 4 quadrants, and it says your priorities in it. I printed it out just so I could refer to it, but it looks like this. I will repost it on my team page because it's been really helpful. I posted it back in June, I think, when I got home from convention. It is a way to prioritize your IPAs, and it has been a godsend for me. So the first thing, I do all my urgent stuff first. And what that means is if customers have questions or customers have reached out to me, I will answer them. Or if newbies are trying to find information, they're trying to sign people up, the very first thing I do. So I'll do customer questions or newbie stuff very, very first. And then I move on to my real IP. That means I am going to check in with the potentials that I'm supposed to check in with that day. I'll follow up with them. And then I will reach out and do my cold messages right after that. And then I usually will post on the team page anything that's necessary for that day, or sometimes I go and seek out training, which is part of that personal development piece of the IPAs. I'll watch if there's something that's kind of like weighing on me that I need to communicate to the team. I'll try to find if there's a training video about it, something that's, really concise and presented well, kind of watch through a few and then make sure I post a necessary one on the team page if I have that. And make sure to kind of have a pulse on what's happening with all my level ones and all you guys, everybody that's really working it. What are the issues that are weighing on people? What questions have I been asked a lot? And try to post something like that on the team page to try to answer some questions or give some clarification, stuff like that. Then after I do my following up and my reaching out to new people and posting on the team page and kind of doing, maybe if I have like homework or something, I don't know, I was gonna say Highway to Emerald, but I don't know if is everyone in here on Highway to Emerald? Probably, right? Pretty close. Yeah, we have a lot of people in Highway to Emerald. So if I have anything with Highway to Emerald that I can do, I know it's weekly, but like if there's, let's get one of these checked off, right? Like, so it's not all like doing it all Sunday night. I try to do that. Or if there's some challenges like the IPA challenges, make sure I'm like checking things off, or the Silver and Sevens, like whatever that day's thing is, I do that. And so that's all that is done first. Then what I do, I go to my messages from all my seasoned ambassadors, all those group chats, all those people that have been with me for a while or months and you're kind of asking questions that need my input, but like it's not urgent, like it's not an emergency, it's not like a make or break situation, you don't need me to respond right then. And sometimes people find their own answers, so giving them a little buffer time lets them research things. If you don't spoon feed people, then they don't get used to you answering all their questions, which I think is really key. If they're a newbie, what I tend to do is if somebody's asked me something about an ingredient or something, I will say, hey, on the team page, go to the files section. There's a document called Plexus Products Ingredients and FAQ. Go look in there. They'll have every ingredient of BioCleanse. Now they know to go to the file section. Through doing that, they'll see all the other things in the file section. They'll hopefully download that file and peruse that a little bit. Now they know how to find that information. So next time when they need to look up an ingredient for block or whatever, they have that file already, or if they didn't download it, they know where to find it. So kind of directing people where to find knowledge instead of just spelling it out for them really helps create people that are a little more independent. And when you give them that buffer time before you answer questions, sometimes they found the answer for themselves, which is really nice. Or if like somebody's wondering about something that they have heard and that it's on like somebody's YouTube video somewhere, sure, I could go search YouTube and find it for them. But how about, hey, Jennifer Pickett just made some great product videos on YouTube and I subscribe to her. She's got some wonderful product videos. I bet you she has a video on that. You might visit her YouTube channel and see if she has a video talking about Slim and saying that or whatever, like put them in a situation where they can train themselves instead of just providing them everything. And it makes them a little more independent. So sorry that I totally went off on a tangent. Anyway, I do that. That's how I answer seasoned ambassador questions and stuff. Then that's kind of all my like IPA stuff. And then it's like my team related stuff. Then what I do, and something I try to do this every single day, go onto my Facebook page. I will look at if there are any birthdays for that day, and I wish them a happy birthday in any of my network. And second, I will go to my friends lists, and you can sort on new posts, and you can see who has posted recently. And you'll have both Plexus and non-Plexus people in there, but I try to find non-Plexus people and see who's posted recently. And I'll go visit their pages if I haven't commented on something of theirs. And I will make sure I'm commenting and interacting and liking and all that on my potentials stuff. And I also might visit some of those like group pages that I'm a part of. Like I'm in a couple mommy groups. I'm in a couple like local activity groups for my area, things like that, that I'm trying to get into more of that, a more specific groups to be a part of that are pertaining to my interests. So I can kind of, bond with people, meet new friends, kind of make new connections and stuff like that. And that's been actually pretty successful. And those people gradually will come on over to your personal page if you're not friends with them, and then they'll start being exposed to that information that you're posting. So that's after that, because that kind of falls into the whole like not super IPA, like not real income producing, but like good over time kind of stacks up. So I do a little bit of that. I don't like spend 2 hours doing that. But after that, like I said, I have that marketing director job that I do from home, and I work on that after my Plexus stuff because that's not social media based. In Plexus, we know that in social media, people are online during the day when they're awake, and they're online, before they go to work, at lunchtime, and, after they get off work. Like there's times when people are probably going to be online. A lot of new mommies are online in the afternoon. Even, moms whose kids are at school, their kids come home at 3:30, so there's some times in the day that are really, really sensitive to people who have certain structures in their life, and you can kind of know that, you kind of learn that. So after I've done all my Plexus stuff, and I do my other jobs things for like a few hours, and I'll work those at night as well. But when my son gets up, it is family time. I am done not working from like after nap time, 4:35 up until 8:30 at night, unless I have like a Zoom or something. About 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, I'm with my family. We're having dinner, we're playing, my husband's home from work. I'm asking about his day. We're doing bath time. We're doing all that. Then when my son goes to bed, it is my IPAs all over again. Everything I just said, I do it again. I start over, and I will look at if any of the potentials that I messaged earlier today have now gotten off work and messaged me back or answered my questions or whatever. If I usually what picks up now are like if people put me in 3-way chats and stuff, because once people start getting off work and getting their, after their families put to bed or whatever, you see kind of a rise in responses. So that's why I like to get some responses out during the day, because once people get off, they check all their messages, right? When you get home from work, right when you put your kids down, like the first thing you do is check your messages. So I kind of like getting those out earlier in the afternoon if you can. If you're at work all day and you only have a lunch hour, then like that's when I would be sending cold messages and reaching out to they're going to answer you. So that's what I do. I kind of clean those up at night. Family goes to sleep. So that's my day. And I really have tried to stick really hard to that. And it's been good, because when you time block your day, you don't waste it. You don't waste that Plexus time. When you say, I'm going to do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there throughout my day, I check my messages, you end up not really getting a lot done. And when you're like, nope, phone's off for like chunks of time, when you get to that hour and a half or whatever, you're like, all right, like game on, So, and like today, I kid you not, I had 92 messages. 92. Like, what is that? Like it was crazy because I had all this stuff going anyway, whatever. I had cold messaged all those people, right? Jessica, you and I were talking about this. Like I was like crazy cold messaging, right? And it's going to pay off. I'm telling you, pay off, because I got some real great things, really great irons in the fire right now. But, you get what you ask for, right? But it's great. It's wonderful. So, but today I was out with my family. We went to brunch. We went to Costco. I came home and Carson napped, and I was like, oh man, let's party down, because like it's time to work, So it was good. I got it all done. So it makes you focus. So
I agree
That's
with
my
time
day.
blocking. I tried
Yeah.
to do the 10 minutes here and there. I felt like I never got anything done and I was tied to my phone all the time. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
100%,
hard to get started when you like.
it is.
Yeah.
It's you have to break your
Mm-hmm.
habits, and that's probably the hardest part is breaking your
Mm-hmm.
habits. So you are amazing at
Yeah.
recruiting level ones. I admire that. Can you give an
Thanks.
example of what exactly do you say? Like, what does I know every conversation is going to be different with potentials, but what is an example of one that kind of maybe almost start to finish on what that looks like?
Yeah. So most of the time, somebody asking me about Plexus is saying, "Hey, I might want to try that Plexus stuff. Can you tell me what that's all about?" Or something so vague, right? And it's easy to just like vomit Plexus on them. Like, here's Plexus, here's the company, it's awesome, here's my testimony, like here's everything it does. Like, okay, no, stop that. Like stop it. And so what I do is I say something personalized to them, like, hey, I'm so excited you reached out. It looks like you had a great time on your vacation in Disneyland last week. Did the kids just love it? We've been wanting to go there. Okay, that's my first like paragraph. Then I say, I would love to tell you more about Plexus. Is something, do you have a certain health goal you're working towards, or has something I posted really caught your eye? I'd love to know what health issues or goals you have so that I can, direct my product recommendations to you specifically. And so I will ask them that. And then I let them tell me, because everybody has different issues. I mean, yes, I love to, start people on the triplex because we know everything it can do, but they don't know that. So relate to them, then ask what they want from you and see what they're looking for. Frozen. Am I frozen? Am I okay?
Now you're back.
Okay, sorry. We just had lightning, so I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I hope I don't go out. My phone's here, and I'll log in with my phone if I log out. And you just heard, but anyway, make it personal with them and ask them what they're looking for. And then when they tell me, I will, usually recommend the triplex, but I won't give them like a blanket statement of everything the triplex can do. I can help you with, sleep or hormone imbalance or energy levels, whatever. I will like call out what they told me, but kind of paraphrase it so they know that I understood. And then what's been awesome lately and been very, very effective that I started doing is I will give them a very quick thing about the triplex has their 3 products that focus on blood sugar regulation, reducing inflammation in the body, and working on gut health, which will help you better, which will help you with some of those issues. Here is a digital brochure about it, and I will link to my triplex digital brochure from my back office, because what's good about that is it doesn't overload your message with text, and it gives them a very professionally presented document with beautiful photos and great text. Basically summarize everything you'd be typing anyway. And in the back of it, it has our clinical results of the weight loss, that weight loss page in the back. So I've started doing that lately, and I've got a really great response. I'm really loving what I'm seeing from that. And so I kind of pulled a little bit of I think I have that document on my team page. That's the initial conversation with the potential. I think I have that document on my team page in the file section. I'll take like a snippet of that and say like the triplex, balances the body, like a little paragraph of kind of what the triplex does. And then, it'll help you with X, Y, Z, a paraphrase of the health issues that they told me earlier. And then I'll say, here's a great digital brochure about it. And then I'll say, do these products sound like what you would like to try? And so, or, do these products sound like what you're interested in trying, or something like that, end with a question. And so, they look through it or whatever. And usually they say, oh yeah, that looks like exactly what I'm looking for. I say, sorry, I skipped. I say, do these products look like something you would like to try? If so, I will grab you pricing. So I let them know that, like, let me know and I'll let you know how much it costs, because people want to know how much money they're going to spend. They want to know that. So I'll tell them, like, give me a yes and I'll give you pricing, kind of thing. And usually they'll say, yeah, like that sounds like exactly what I'm looking for. Pricing would be great. And so then I tell them a really ways to purchase. You can be, wholesale and give them the whole thing about, being an ambassador and stuff. And I give them a little snippet of, what that looks like. And I do say it's a monthly auto ship that you can edit or cancel at any time. It's $34.95 to join. It's cheaper than joining Costco. You get to shop our products at wholesale the entire year, and you can earn money back on your own purchases, which is kind of like having an awesome coupon for next month. So I say you'll sign up for a monthly auto ship, but you can change or cancel it at any time. So I'll say that about Ambassador. And I'll say preferred, you get about a 10% discount. You'll also sign up for a monthly auto ship here. And, again, change it at any time. And then I'll say retail expensive option. I don't normally recommend this, but it's a one-time purchase. And then I'll say all of these come with our 60-day money-back guarantees. You can try it for a couple months and totally return it for a refund if you don't love it. And I'll say, here's how much you can save from joining Plexus. And so then I'll write, the pricing. And with Triplex, welcome pack price, in parentheses, I'll be like, this is only $99 when you join as an ambassador. It's a screaming deal. And so I sent it and then I say, which option is best for you? And then again, I end with another question. Every single time I end with a question. And so it's a kind of a call and response thing. And I always like to use the term you in it, not just like, just leaving them which one's best or whatever, which one of these will work or whatever. Like I always like to say you because they know I'm talking directly to them. And then they'll come back, and for my case, most of them have been ambassadors. I will say that a lot of people love to have their retail and preferred customers. And I must say that I have most of my people go ambassador. A handful will go preferred, and I direct them towards preferred if they're purchasing under $100 in products. And usually when they are doing that, sometimes I won't even mention being an ambassador because I know it's not going to be a good deal for them. I'll just say, here's your options of purchasing as a customer. And then later if they log in and they're like, well, how do I, get them back? Like, if they click around and find it, fine. But I don't have a lot of people who are under me, my personal level ones that like are ordering just slim or ordering slim and block. And what, like, I don't get a lot of people. I can't even think of any actually that does that. That's my level one. So I usually won't even mention it. And I always try to start people on the triplex. So that's how that would go. And then they'll say, I want to do preferred, I want to master or whatever. And I'll say, okay, great. Here I have step-by-step instructions for you to sign up or for you to purchase so that we click all the right things and get you the best deal. And I will send them that. And I'll also set up a time. I'll send them like instructions or the graphic or whatever. And then I'll say, but if you're available right now, my son's asleep. Do you want me to give you a call and get you set up? Or do you want to do it right now? Because I can answer right now because I'm sitting in front of my computer. I have time and I'm available and I want to make sure you don't hit any bumps in the road. And so some of them say, sure, I have time right now. I'm on a break or whatever. Or I'll really do it right now. I'll do it later. Is that okay? And I'll say, oh yeah, that's great. My son goes down at 9:00. So around tonight, like between 9 or 10, walk through it together. Does that sound good? And so sometimes they'll say, yeah, sometimes they'll say, I'm going to a movie tonight or whatever, but I keep until there's like a time that works for them. And doing that makes them give you a time that works. I'll say, what is your day, what your lunch hour? Would that be good? I can even call you and walk you through it. Whatever. I'll whatever they say that works for them. I like to make that work. So I really make them commit to a time and almost make an appointment with them. But I have, people that string you along. like what I was just saying, some people don't do it right then. And that happens, and you just have to keep going with it. But I know you question related to that. Huh? I think you did. I didn't write that one down. Sorry.
No, that's really you pretty much answered. Like my next one was, how do you close the deal? And it's just constantly asking until they give you an answer, until they give you a commitment, forcing them to give you a commitment. That's exactly, you answered it. Awesome. So, and then the next one, when someone says they're going to sign up and then they don't, and they're just stringing you along, is there any point where you're like, I'm done with you, I'm moving on, or do you keep at it?
I keep at it for like forever. Even when they say no, like, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I like still invite them to everything. Like I had all these people on the Cyber Hour that had told me no, like all last year. And they got on the Cyber Hour, and a couple of them ordered sample packs now. I'm like, hey, we'll start somewhere. So, but then I had somebody who like ordered a month of Slim, I think, retail, like after wanting to be ambassador, strung along. They went to 2 Cyber Hours. They went to one in November, and then they came to this one, and they like ordered some Slim, right? Now she wants to be an ambassador. Like she gets it now. So some people just like need time. Right. And, said she's going to sign up. Oh, my husband's gone for the weekend. I got to talk to him, I say, oh, great. I'll follow up with you on Monday. Is that okay? And we'll figure out if this is something you want to do or not, and followed up with her, oh, we're still not sure. And I'll ask them, okay, well, what's like you said earlier, what's holding you back or thing? Is your husband worried about anything? I'd love to provide you with any, research or information that I can, any of that kind of stuff. And I'll say, do you need it? What if I circle back with you tomorrow? Like, is that good? And I always kind of put the pressure on them a little bit, because I think people appreciate persistence when it's polite. There's a difference in being pushy and being helpful and enthusiastic. I try to be like, show that I'm genuinely concerned for them, because I am, and I know that these products will help them with whatever they may be dealing with. And I might even shoot them this testimonial I just read about something that they can relate to, and say, hey, this is exactly what you're dealing with. These are going to be so awesome for you. I just cannot wait to get you signed up. I mean, what about this Friday? Does that sound good? I'll block an hour out in the evening, and we can just go through it together, because I want to make myself available to answer any of your questions. Does that sound good? And so I just keep doing that. And then I've had a couple people go radio silent on me. And I send them every deal that comes up. I send them every special. I invite them to stuff. And then every now and then they'll be like, sure, throw me on that Cyber Hour or whatever. It's weird. Like people come out of the woodwork. And I had somebody who ordered a triplex forever ago and didn't care at all and didn't like it or whatever. And she comes back and she says, oh, hey, I want to try that block stuff. And I need some multivitamins. Can you give me some information on those? I'm like, absolutely. So like always keep that door open and keep that communication friendly and welcoming, because, maybe they're not ready to be an ambassador, and maybe they wouldn't have been a good ambassador. Maybe they would have joined in with the triplex. They didn't like it. So they shut you off and they said, not for me. But thankfully that person ended up wanting to be a customer, and she tried it and returned it and whatever. She was one of those, tried the triplex for like a week and a half and said she hated it. And, but you're like, hey, thank you for believing me enough to try it. I really appreciate that. And, I always send her things. If you're willing to give it a try again, I have a sale going on or whatever. They come back with wanting a different product, and that door is always open. So sometimes they transform into different things. But I had somebody who said they were going to sign up last year. And I said this to somebody in the group chat, I can't remember. Said they were going to sign up last year, ended up not signing up, ordered a 7-day trial, told me they hated it, and went radio silent, completely radio silent. She joined 2 other network marketing companies since last year. She has since come back and told me she wants to sign up as an ambassador, and she's getting Triplex, Edge, Block, X Factor, and Boost. I'm like, okay. Like, awesome. Get your rolling. I'm like, okay, clearly you've been doing some research and listening to some testimonials and, had some repeated exposure. And so those people that say no are clearly dealing with something in their life. Like maybe she was looking for another financial opportunity, knowing that I watched her join 2 other network marketing companies and she didn't like them. She told me that. She was like, I don't want to sell it because I tried that and it just wasn't working for me. And so I'm like, I don't have to. But these products will do exactly what you want them to do. And so I'm so excited that you're joining and we're going to do this together and I'm going to be your number 1 cheerleader and support system. This is going to be great. I'm so excited for you. And so we're going to get her signed up tomorrow. I'm having a call in with her. So you just never know what they're looking for. Even if they're like, I want to lose 5 pounds. Like maybe she's like, what's the opportunity now? So you just never know what people are dealing with. So I just keep at it. Stay polite, stay respectful. I have used the whole, I see that it's not a good time for you to try Plexus. So I want to let you know that, I'm crossing you off my list. So I won't contact you anymore, but it's open and I can totally send you a free sample if you would like one. Just shoot me your address anytime. And I've had a handful of people say, you know what, I would like that. I'd like a sample. That'd be great. And I had one girl that she said, oh my gosh, that stuff was delicious. Can I sign up? Well, she said, can I sign up next month? Everyone has financial differences. And I said, absolutely. What's a good day? Do you have a certain, do you get a paycheck on a certain day? You're thinking do you have something in mind, a date in mind? And we set a date. And I said, I will follow up with you on that date and we'll get you signed up. So it's just funky and everybody's different. I mean, a girl, you probably see her, Tammy Fitch on the team. She said no to me twice. She won a free trial of Slim, told me she didn't want it. I hated it, whatever. She tried it, didn't like it. And then I told her, all these tips for, if you didn't like it, whatever. And then she comes back and is like, this total rock star going after it. And I'm like, girl, it's just so funny. People they surprise you. So just being nice and friendly and just keep going.
Kill them with kindness.
Ask them about their life, and doesn't always have to be Plexus. Totally, right? Totally. That's my mantra in life.
Don't know how to respond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think has allowed you to be so bold in this business?
Somebody said, oh my gosh, who was that? I was listening to some training. They said, here, you can take this with a grain of salt, but newsflash, not everybody likes you. Seriously. There's a reason you're not friends with every single person on your newsfeed, right? Not everyone has your same personality. And there's a reason you may have a close-knit group of people that you're similar to, or, friends and family that are, you really respect and you love. And, then you have people that you can tell in your network that I relate to them or I'm similar to them or whatever. And, some people you're just not. And I try to be neutral, but also I know that those people who I'm not that close with, what's going to happen if they say, oh, no, thanks. Okay, we're going to go back to kind of not really talking to each other. What am I losing that? Right? I'm losing not no interaction on Facebook to still having no interaction on Facebook. You know what I mean? There's no okay, they're a friend of a friend's husband from college. Who cares? I literally don't talk to you. One of your photos of your family goes across my feed and you have a beautiful family and I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that till the cows come home, that your family is beautiful and you and your wife look like you had a wonderful time in Florida last month and da-da-da. You know what I mean? I'm going to pour into that relationship. But if I'm have you thought of giving Plexus a try? I really think you guys would love it and da-da-da, cold message them. If they're not really, I saw the things I don't think we really want to try it right now or whatever, it's not for us. And, then you go in your whole spiel, is there any, may I ask why not? I'm really excited about it and my husband loves it. Da-da-da. It's if they don't want it, okay, now I'm back to not talking to you really on Facebook. There's nothing that's going to change your relationship with them, and if they didn't really like you or if you don't like them, that's not going to change. So if anything, they're going to join you and your relationship is going to become even stronger. So really, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to worry about what people think because, like I said, like newsflash, they either don't like you or they don't really think about you very much. You know, like somebody you don't really know well, they probably don't call you to mind like ever. So you approaching them about Plexus is not really going to have a huge effect on them nor you, because neither of you were really that close to begin with. So that's how I just like approach everyone. And I've told this story probably a ton of times, and forgive me if you've heard this before, but about a year ago at this time, I got like super into making my Franks list. It was like 350 people long or something. It was like my second or third one, which you do know that many people, by the way. You do. You can think of that many people if you try really hard. And I messaged in the month of February or March or something. I messaged like 180 people or 150 people. And that month I signed up 13 ambassadors. Like, that's nuts. And it's hard to fathom messaging that many people, but like if you spread it out across the month and you think about like, okay, if maybe 10% of people, like not even 10% of the people are going to join me, how many people do you need to message to make your goals a reality? Like if you knew that 10% of the people you reach out to would probably join your team, holy cow, like what rank do you want to be to? Like count up the people, go message that many people. You know what I mean? So like do the math. And so I knew that at the time I was going gold and I wanted to go senior gold. So I was like, pedal to the metal, man. I'm going to message everybody I know. And thankful for, and I learned that from like a training video from Highwood Emerald or something. And it was part of that like go for no concept. I think it was like in the early beginnings of that, that just offer it to everybody, man. Don't judge anybody. Don't prejudge or pre-qualify anybody. And it was so right. It was so right. And that was a big lesson learned. I had to just buckle up, message everybody, and realize it wasn't changing my friendships with anyone. It really, if anything, it was making them stronger, or it was allowing them to see more stuff on my feed because I made contact with them over Facebook Messenger, so that my posts were actually showing up more on their newsfeed. So they were getting more information from me by making that contact. So I did a lot of that and realized like, holy cow, like that is it. Like the more people you talk to, the more people are going to join, right? Like, duh. So yeah, that's it. I mean, no rocket science here. You like do it.
That's so
like,
good. As I call this is not the most appropriate, but as I call my son, kahunis to the wall, because I don't like to say the other word.
Right?
He's a little boy.
Totally. Do it. Yeah.
So what has been the hardest thing to overcome?
The hardest thing has been, oh my gosh, okay, which one should I pick? The hardest thing is approaching family about joining Plexus and trying Plexus. I will say that I do not tend to encourage my new level ones to find family members aside from their spouse to join them on this journey. Your family will probably end up being some of the most hesitant to join you because they've seen you throughout your up and downs and they know your strengths and your weaknesses. And they might be skeptical of your commitment because they may have seen you try things and give up or whatever in your past, like no matter what it is. I mean, it doesn't matter, but your family kind of is like, I'm going to give you some time to figure this out a little bit. And if you're still doing it in a year, then maybe I'll try, right? Your family is like, knows you're not going anywhere. So they're like going to watch and see kind of thing. So family has been tough. And I really like to get like level ones sharing on social media and like asking people that are there in their network, like their warm market network, but that aren't their family members. because family members, it's easy to take other family members for granted, and say like, oh, she's not serious. Like, oh, I'll talk to her later or whatever, because they know they might see you or talk to you all the time. And so they might not take you seriously for a while. And it almost does you more of a disservice to reach out and get all these immediate names, because then it can discourage you. And I remember walking into my family Christmas. Mind you, I had joined in late October of 2015. I walked into my family Christmas, and somebody, my son's name's Carson, and they said to me, it was my uncle, really close uncle of mine. He said, hey, Allie, enough with that Plexus stuff, okay? We'd like more Carson on your page and a little less Plexus in front of my whole family. I walked into Christmas in front of the whole family in the middle of the living room. I just walked in the door. I'm like, well, I feel great. You should try it. That's what I said and kept walking. And you know what I did? I sold 3 sample packs at Christmas that year. And all 3 of those people became ambassadors. So you can't let stuff get you down. But I really had to realize pretty quickly that your family is sometimes not the market you should reach out to. It is like social networking that is going to have your team growth like wildfire. And I mean, your family knows a lot of the same people you know, right? Mm-hmm. So go find people that don't know people you know. So like I try to do that, like reach out to people who like don't have my same friends. So because the people that are closest to you are going to discount what you're telling them a lot more readily, because they may have watched you for longer and they may have seen some of your struggles. And people that don't know you as well, they can take what you say for face value, because they don't know any better. I mean, they'll trust you because they have no reason not to, right? So that was the biggest thing I had to get past, was like, all right, so like you guys aren't my party of people. Like I need to go out. So yeah, which is hard. It's hard to not have that support. I mean, I do say get your husband, get your wife on board. I do say that because in your home, you need somebody that's your cheerleader. And if you can work as hard as you can to get that person on board, that's wonderful. But trying to say, oh, I need cousin Susie to like try it because she's diabetic. And, you know, just because she's your cousin doesn't mean she's going to try it, you know? Like just because she's diabetic doesn't mean she's going to try it. So you need to find the people that really are wanting it and desperate for it and are wanting to receive the information. So, yeah, that was tough. It's tough to watch your family kind of give you a smack in the face in front of everybody.
Yes.
So, but and like I said, you get over yourself, and I'm like, I'm feeling good, yo. Woo. So, my game plan.
Lastly, what is the one book that you feel, I'm going to rephrase my question. When you were a silver, what was the one book you felt like really grew you? I guess it could be training people too.
I was a silver. I want to say 2. Can I say 2? Because there's one that I read not as a silver. I just read it recently. And another one I read when I was a silver, and it was awesome. First one, read Rock Your Network Marketing Business by, what's her name? Oh my God.
Sarah Robbins.
Sarah Robbins. I was going to say Rebecca Robbins. I'm like, that is not her name. Well, we just watched the Rebecca Folks thing. That's why she was in my head. Sarah Robbins. Read that. That's good. That's a good foundational basis of what it means to be a professional network marketer and the kinds of activities you need to be doing. And she's really big on like doing parties and stuff. Like we don't do a lot of that. But some of the things about finding people, how to network, how to run even like private specials and things that are enticing, and how to follow up with people, and just basics like how to run a network marketing business, how network marketing works, how to be genuine and meet people, and your posture, and how to make a presentation confidently and stuff like that is really good. And then GoPro by Eric Worre was like awesome. And I told you this, Jessica, I put it on my team page. I just downloaded the app called Audible. You listen to audiobooks. You download them through Amazon, and then they load up into Audible. And the GoPro audiobook is only 2.5 hours. And I listened to that and was like, every single person needs to listen to this book. Like every person. It's not just like feel good, like believe in yourself, like, which is all fine and wonderful. And you need to believe in yourself and be confident and have a good posture when you talk to people, and enthusiasm. But you need to know what types of things to say that can either turn on someone or turn them off. And that book is full of stuff like that. What kind of verbiage to use that is enticing or off-putting. That stuff is really important because you can give off a vibe that is either, welcoming or pushing away. And it's just by simply a rephrasing of, those questions I was talking about how I talk to potentials. It's all about how you phrase it. You don't have somebody come say, hey, tell me about Plexus. And you're like, hey, well, the triplex does all this and da-da-da-da-da, and here's how much it costs. And, let me know if you want it. Like, no, like that's not going to get a response at all. So, but when you're new, you don't know that, you're like, hey, here's everything I know about Plexus ever. And here's how much it costs. Like, if you're new, you're like, sure, right? Just here's the information. But that book is full of good little tactics and follow-up tips of things to say and things not to say, and how to phrase things and how many times to follow up and how to follow up in different ways so it's not always sounding the same. So GoPro and Rock Your Network Marketing Business as a silver ambassador, like hands down, I would read those books because those are like the Bible of network marketing. It's probably like blasphemous about that, but you know what I mean?
Yes,
yeah, they're awesome.
Well, this has been so amazing. Thank you all so much for coming on. I'm sure everyone can attest that you have so much knowledge. You may not feel that way because you haven't been in it very long, but you do. I adore you. So,
oh my gosh, I love you guys.
Stop recording, and